Kidnapped is the 18th episode of the second season of the Doris Day Show, and unfortunately, I didn't really like it. I love most episodes of the Doris Day Show, but every now and then there'll be an episode that I just don't care for. It's been a while. It's definitely been quite a while since there was one of them, and this one is unfortunately in that category. Doris is visiting Warren Coleman, who's writing an article for Today's World magazine, and he's actually writing an expose about this character called Barney. And he's very nervous about this. He's a brilliant character, I should point that out. Where credit where it's due. Avery Schreiber plays Warren Coleman, and just his bumbling mannerisms, the way he would fumble his speech. I love the character, absolutely love the character. However, Barney gets wind of this article and decides to kidnap Warren and Doris so that the article is written the way he wants it to be written. But of course, Doris is refusing to go along with this, and she meets Flossie, Barney's wife, played by Kaye Ballard. And the only thing that I think the episode did really well, from my perspective, is that it really helped to highlight that the way Barney treated Flossie wasn't acceptable. Flossie was beaten around, she was treated really badly, and because it's all she's ever known with her husband, she thought it was perfectly normal, and Doris takes the time to explain to her that that's not right. That's not how a husband should treat a wife, or indeed vice versa. And I think the episode did a really good job of highlighting that. So hopefully anybody in that situation would look at it and think, hang on, this isn't right. I feel like by today's standards we're aware of that, but in the 70s, I think things were a little bit more in the shadows. And I feel like domestic violence was even less publicly spoken about in the 70s than it was today. So I think the episode did a really good thing with that. But with regards to the actual narrative and the kidnapping, and I didn't care for it. I didn't really enjoy Barney as a character at all, which I guess is kind of the point. He is the antagonist, but I didn't even love to hate him. I just didn't care about him. There's nothing wrong with the performance. He's played by Bruce Gordon. The acting's absolutely fine, but I just didn't care for any of those scenes at all. I did like seeing Myrna, Mr. Nicholson, and Mr. Harvey working together to try and work out where Doris is, what's happened to her, going to her rescue. I thought that worked really well. So there were a few small things here and there, such as those characters and, what Doris was saying to Flossie and Warren Coleman's mannerisms. But beyond that, I didn't care for it. There are very few Doris Day episodes that I would skip. But if I ever watch season 2 again, which I'm sure I will, I might skip this episode. There's not enough in it for me to find it entertaining, unfortunately. On the plus side, those episodes are 1 or 2 a season at the most. So I can't really complain too much. But either way, Kidnapped is not one that appealed to me very much at all.